Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. It's Carol Baskin at Big Cat Rescue, and I am here with a tiger. I'm here with Duchess Tiger, who just walked away. Where'd you go? Silly girl. All right. Want to go for a walk? Tigers love to go for walks. They just won't do it on a leash. They'll be dragging you for a walk. Yeah, I'd whip you with that chain and eat you up for trying to put me on a leash. I've heard some people are kind of concerned about Duchess being sad, missing Priya. Yeah. Duchess gets lots of attention from her keepers. And people have been asking what we're going to do about Priya's cage. And I don't know yet. I typically like to leave the cage empty for like 3 days. It's like I can feel the animal still kind of lingering for that period of time. I can't really explain what that feeling is, but after that, we start looking at who would best benefit from this space. And of course, Priya has the most amazing space on the entire property for her permanent cage, but it was because she was so inactive. And it's kind of a scary cage for us because there's a lot of places where the tiger can go down into the woods and we can't see them. And we have to be constantly vigilant about whether or not any trees have gone down against the walls. And we don't typically have to worry so much about other cages where we can see the entire enclosure. Like even this one here where Duchess is, we can see everything. So the only candidates really are Jasmine or Aria. And the reason for that is that the Guatemala boys are just too young, too agile, too apt to get in trouble. And I don't know whether putting those boys next to Duchess here might cause so much of a love affair that somebody wants to tear the fence down. Even though they're fixed, they remember being boys. So we don't know what we're going to do yet. Jamie was saying she's not sure that Aria would go into a transport. We know Kali is just too lame. She's not going to be able to step into a transport at all. So it'll probably be Aria or Jasmine. And we still got to get in there and clean it out and get it all ready for its new occupants. So it won't be for a little bit yet. Oh my goodness. You have so much to say. I came in early because you just want me to stop talking, don't you? I came in early because I wanted you guys to be able to see the cats while they were active right around feeding time. But we had a bit of an emergency with Manny Jaguar. I don't think we posted it online, but yesterday at, what time was it? About 8:30 in the morning. He was up by the pool on his little platform, and when he went to get off the platform, he kind of jumped, kind of fell, and he landed on his feet just fine, but just the fact that he was feeling around and not really sure of what his footing was really concerned us about the platform. But the reason for not locking him away from the platform is because the sound of the pool let him know where water was, and if he's not able to see, we were afraid he may not be able to find his water bowls. So what we discovered is that sometime after 8:30 yesterday morning, he went down, laid in the back of the cage where the cameras are not able to see him, and from what the keepers could tell, he hadn't moved all night. And so I spent a ridiculous amount of time going back through the cameras. There's 2 of them on his cage, but they're Coda cameras. They're not the fancy Explore cameras, and they freeze up. So when you're trying to go through it a minute at a time, so that I'm not watching an actual 8 hours of video, in 8 hours of time to try and figure out whether or not he got up during the night. So scrolling through it, it kept freezing. So it took me a long time to do that. But from what I could tell, he didn't move from that spot in the back. I saw some keepers going back and taking care of him on the cameras, but I never saw him move from that area or come back into the visual range of the camera. It doesn't mean he wasn't moving back there, but the fact that he was still in the same spot where Aaron had seen him about 5 p.m. yesterday would indicate that he probably had not moved. So now we're like, shoot, this cat needs fluids. He's got to get water in him. And so we were struggling with, how do we bring water to the cat? And so what we decided to do was, and I don't know if this was Jamie or Aaron or Afton, one of them decided what we should do is we sometimes have to collect urine from the cats, and so we put a little cup that'll fit through the wire on a stick. Now her wire here is 4x6. Most of our wire is 4x4. But the little teeny tiny tin cup that they use for that, for catching urine, wouldn't have held even, 2 sips for Manny. So they went on the hunt for a bigger cup on a stick that would actually go through the wire. And of course, anything big enough wouldn't go through the wire, so we had to cut a hole in the cage. And then once he got through drinking the first cup of this water, it might have been a 2-cup. It was one of those little plastic containers like you put food in. Once he emptied it and they tried to take it back to refill it, he grabbed a hold of it, he broke the stick. It was a bit of a nightmare, but we got the bowl back, we got the stick back, and they have given him a blood sickle, and he's currently working on that, so that's great. And then with the hole that we cut, we'll be able to put a bigger bowl in there and set it right in front of him. But this is no quality of life if he's not moving from this area. And we don't know if it's because he feels so bad or if he's scared after having kind of fallen off of that platform, even though he didn't appear to have hurt himself at all. And the platform, the area that he came down from, was only like 3 feet, so it was no big deal. But just the fact that he's freaked out by that might keep him from wanting to go anywhere in his cage, since he can't seem to see to get around. So we're going to keep a really close eye on him today, and we will let the vet know, and of course let you know what happens as the day goes on. And then last I heard, Gilligan was doing fine. I haven't asked about this morning because Manny has been, all of this morning has been all about Manny. Huge shout out and thank you so much to everybody who has been donating early to Give Day. We had $28,000 in matching funds from some amazing donors. We so appreciate that. It really helps people leverage their smaller donations by being matched 100%. And I think last time I looked yesterday, we had raised about $16,000 through the URL at bigcatrescue.org/giveday. And then I think there might have been like between 1,800 and 3,000, I just don't know for sure, raised on Facebook. So that's been great, especially since Facebook just periodically does the dumbest stuff to us. I swear there must be somebody there who hates me, because it seems like every time we run a fundraiser, they let us post it, and then once it, we've announced it to as many people as we can, they will give you a message saying we can't solicit funds and they won't take your money. And it's just so freaking frustrating. We had it happen at Christmas, our biggest fundraising time of the year. We've had it happen at Thanksgiving, end of year, and it just... So I contacted all of the contacts I have at Facebook and said, what the heck? And this morning, Deb reported that the Facebook fundraiser is working for Give Day now. So I don't know if somebody fixed it. Hope somebody got in trouble over turning it off, but it's working at the moment. The safest way is always to give through the URLs that we give you guys, bigcatrescue.org/giveday, because we know that your money is going to be safely transferred to us rather than going through Facebook. But some people just don't want to leave Facebook for any reason. And so for that reason, we make it possible on Facebook when they participate with us. So thank you, everybody who's been donating that way. And I'll try to get you a better number later on today. So that means, roughly doing the math in my head, that there's somewhere around $9,000 still worth of matching grants. So if you were thinking about making a donation, you might want to do it before that matching money runs out. Give Day is going to be on May the 2nd, but these are the 2 weeks prior to Give Day where the matching counts for your donations, and we really, really appreciate it. We're trying to raise $86,600 for these cats to have amazing dens and platforms at Turpentine Creek Wildlife Refuge. And so we hope that you will help our cats be very, very comfortable once they arrive in Eureka Springs. Can I see you through here better? Ooh. There we go. All right, so now that she's laying still, let me see if I can answer any questions you guys might have. Hey, Shannon and Daryl. Joe Morgan says button and a crying emoji. So Sarah says she feels like it's disrespectful to be talking about who will be moving to Priya's cage. I've just had so many people hammering on our online people asking that I was asked to address it with you. So I'm sorry if I offended anyone, but we try to be as transparent as possible. We don't want people to think we're ignoring them. Hey, Shelley and Judy. Hey, Kathy. Nothing like autocorrect, right? I know, Kathy. Marcy, we are looking forward to your visit, and I heard you're visiting like twice. Sandra, I'm not sure. I think this cat is like 18 or 19. What are you watching? There's nothing behind me. Stop that. Do your cats do that where they act like there's some ghost or something right behind you? Yeah, same for big cats. Hey, Luann and Patricia. Bella Rourke. Yes, everybody wants to know how you're doing, girlfriend. Hey, Gren. Juana, good morning. This is Duchess Tiger. Duchess Tiger was rescued from Ohio. She was being kept in a backyard menagerie. And when Ohio banned the private possession of big cats, it gave everybody 4 years to clean up their act, make their cages bigger. They could keep the cats that they had, not bigger, but safer. And they had to register their animals. And her owner just refused to do it. So it was 4 years of litigation after the 4 years that they already had. And that is how she ended up here. That's also how Jasmine ended up here. That's why I thought Jasmine might be a good neighbor for Duchess, since they knew each other before. Janet, I'm glad that you are loving these morning walks. Mary, thank you for posting the link to Duchess's bio. Janae, we just gave a huge update on Manny. Manny has been apparently staying in the same spot in his cage since 8:30 yesterday morning, which means he's not drinking, which means he will block up again. And so, because he's eating and he's taking his meds, but if he's not getting up and going and getting a drink, we had to bring the drink to him. And so you can go back and rewatch this. I won't put everybody else through it, but after a whole lot of work by Afton and Aaron this morning, they got him to drink out of a cup on a stick. They say you're beautiful, Duchess. Yeah, they know beautiful when they see it. Hey, Kristen and Luann. Tracy, the only way that we can handle tours are for our donors of over $500 because we just don't have the infrastructure that we had before COVID. Before COVID, we had anywhere from 80 to 110 volunteers, and a lot of those were admin volunteers who would give tours. Now we're down to 40 volunteers who only do animal care, except for Jenny Jameson. And Jenny gives tours, but Jenny gives tours just about all the time because everybody who donates over $500 and wants a tour, she's the one having to do it. Or what's happening now is because there's so many people wanting to tour that now Howie and I are having to give tours, and we're not able to get our work done because of so many people wanting to come visit now that they know the cats are moving to Turpentine Creek. So I can appreciate that people who are local want to do that, but anybody who's not local, please just go see them at Turpentine Creek when they get there. It's going to be a much better experience for you. Their cages are rectangles and trapezoids, so you can see the whole cage and much more likely to see the cats. They have places that they can hide, but our cages are built like big snakes that go back into the woods because of the trees. And so it's really hard to see our cats even when they're laying completely out in the open. You can't see them because they're so far off the tour path. Also, their tours are on tram, so you get to sit down, have the breeze in your hair, and fully enjoy it without having to walk around in 110-degree heat. Oh, man, somebody's sleepy. And it's such a cool place to stay. Oh, my catness. I'm going there for the Feast with the Beast, which is April the 29th. It's a big fundraiser that Turpentine Creek is having. And they've completely sold out, so if you didn't get your ticket already, I'm sorry, but you missed out. I told everybody a few days ago, man, you needed to get your tickets because it's going to be like the fur ball, and everybody loved the fur ball. It's going to be people wearing costumes and cat costumes and costume, what do they call it? Costume safari formal, I think is how we called it. And so we were hoping that a whole bunch of you would be there, and apparently a whole bunch of you will be there, but not everybody can because they have limited capacity. They're trying to build an event pavilion up at the Freedom Field where all of the big cat rescue cats are going to be, but that's going to be a really expensive endeavor, and they're still fundraising for that, so it won't be done in time for this April event. Anyway, what I was getting at is I love Eureka Springs. It is just the coolest little town. It's just a treasure. Some of my best jewelry came out of that town because they have all of these artists that have congregated there. It's just a very magical place. I know people think Big Cat Rescue is magical, and it is, but Eureka Springs is another one of those kind of places. It became very famous for its healing springs back in the day, and I think that's why a lot of very spiritually minded people have congregated there over the years, a lot of artists. So it's just a very quaint little town set right there in the Ozarks. When Coda the lion left Big Cat Rescue because the owner had sued the Florida Wildlife Commission, and I understand some of these animal abusers are saying that we have a lawsuit pending against us. That was thrown out a long time ago. But when they moved Coda Lion, they moved her to Elmira's sanctuary. And the reason that the owner wanted her moved was because he wanted to be able to go in and pet her and show off with her. And apparently he thought he was going to get away with that at Elmira's, and so after she got there, they told him, heck no, you're not going to do something that dangerous and that sets that bad of an example. And so he had the cat taken from there to Judy Watson, who has a backyard menagerie in Bushnell, Florida. And that's where I've lost track of her because they don't post anything about her, so I don't know whether or not she's still there. I know that all of her relatives died really, really young, and my guess is because they're so inbred. I believe they were trying to breed white lions, and they referred to her as a white lion. She was very pale-coated, and the only way you can do that, just like with tigers, is through severe inbreeding. And so I'd be very surprised if Coda, or as they called her, Juma, is still alive. If anybody knows different, let me know. Yeah, I could watch Duchess all day too. I'm not sure I could walk all day with Duchess. You're wearing me out, girlfriend. All right, well, that's all of the updates that I got for you. She does have perfect markings, doesn't she? I took several videos of Manny with them trying to give him water this morning, and they took some videos of him eating yesterday. So I may take those videos and turn them into a clip that we'll share with you online so that you guys can see for yourself how he's doing. After we're through appreciating this amazing tiger belly roll. What a cute belly you have, Duchess. Oh, yes. And we're out.